welcome to Beads Jar. My name's Billy, and in today's fabulous tutorial, I'm going to show you how to work with these new Arcos beads by Par Puca. We're also using the Minos, and we've got the tiny size 15 Miyukis to create this beautiful fringing around the edge. I hope you enjoy the project. To make this beautiful bracelet, we're going to be working with the Arcos Par Puca beads, which have 3 holes and are this fabulous arc shape. The one I've chosen here is the gold ceramic and violet look bead from Par Puca. We have the Par Puca Minos beads, the luster finish Miyuki 2-hole half tilas, and size 15 Miyuki rounds. This bead here is just going to be one of my starter beads, so it's not part of the actual pattern, it just gives us our starter point for making the jewellery. I'll be working with the precision scissors, round nose pliers and side cutters. I've also got a toggle clasp to finish the bracelet project, and we'll be using a 0.8 wire to connect the fastener at the end of the project as well. To thread the beads today, I'm working with a 8-pound Fireline and a size 12 needle, and I'm just going to pick up my starter bead and thread that through. Take that down my Fireline, leaving about a 10 centimetre tail, and I'm going to go back up through the same hole just to position the starter bead, like so. We're going to pick up one of the Arcos beads, and I'm going to go through the first hole. So I'm going from the arc side up and through a Miyuki Half Tila bead. We're then going to take another Arcos bead, and we're going to go through the hole at the bottom of the arc and out towards the top. I'm going to take those all the way down my thread, so this is what you should have so far, and we'll be attaching our fastener to the half tila bead. So that's where we should be at now, and we're now going to pick up 3 of the size 15 seed beads. So I've got 3 on my beading needle, and I'm coming across and through the second hole in the Arcos bead, so the second hole along. So I'm now in the centre between the 2 Arcos beads, and I'm going to be picking up one of the 15s and one Minos and another 15. So my thread's coming downwards, and I'm wanting to put this into the centre, so I'm going to go through the middle hole in the bottom Arcos bead. We're going to pick up another 3 of the size 15s, and coming across we're going to go up out of the bottom of the Arcos. And then take another half tiller through the Arcos and up. We're now going to pick another 3 of the size 15 seed beads and come back down through the centre of our Arcos. I'm going through the 2 seed beads and the Minos and coming out of the bottom using the beading needle to come out there. We'll come back down. Keep my tail end out of the way there. And 3 more seeds. And up. And out. So I'm coming out of the side of the top Arcos next to my seed bead here. I'm going to change the slight threading system of this one. So I'm going to come across now through the first 3 of my seed beads in this row, but just the first 3. So we're going to come across through those 3 there. Make sure you don't miss any of the seed beads when you do this. And I'm coming up out of that 3rd one. I'm going to pull my cord through. And we're going to pick another seed bead. So we're actually going to have a row of 7 here. So I've picked up another new seed bead and I'm going to go through again the next 3 in that row. So I'm going back through and out. So I've just gone through those first 3 and back down. And that's creating this beautiful edge around the Arcos bead. We need to now make sure we can add our next group on. So we're going to go through and down and stop at the half tiller. So back through the Arcos and the half tiller bead. So you notice my needles come out of the half tiller bead there. And I'm taking the thread across through the half tiller and up. Where I'm now going to pick up my next Arcos. So I'm going to go up through the Arcos bead, so we've got the next one going on there, and we're going to pick 3 seed beads. So I've got 3 more and back through the centre. For the centerpiece, we're going to pick up a seed bead, a Par Puca Minos and a seed bead, and we're going to go through the center of our next Arcos bead, so the center hole. Take another 3 seed beads with your beading needle, and we're going through the very far hole on our Arcos bead and up. To continue our links, we then pick up another of our Half Tila bead and through the top Arcos. Take your 3 seed beads onto your beading needle and down through the centre, and your seed and Minos in the centre of the Arcos beads as well. So make sure your needle goes all the way through those, and we're coming out and down at the bottom. Pick up another 3 of the seed beads and go back up through the Arcos, the Half Tila and the top Arcos. And we're going to add our 7th seed bead now on this top row. So you're going to go through the first 3, pick up a seed bead. So we're doing the first 3 seed beads here. Pick up, and then the next 3 in that row. Giving you that top effect over the top of the Arcos on the top row. You may be wondering, I've not said anything about the bottom row, but that's when we come back along. So for now, we're just going to concentrate on getting the 7 on the top row, and then this we'll do afterwards. So I'm going to continue chaining these together until I've got the length for my bracelet. So I'm going to go back down through the Half Tila and out of the bottom of the Half Tila, across the Half Tila and up, connecting the next Arcos. So I'll do one more, and then I'll leave that for you to get up to the length of bracelet required, and we can finish off the project. So I'm going to leave you there, like I say, to create the bracelet length that you need, and then we'll move on to finishing that off and showing you also how to pop the fastener on. See you soon. Okay, so I left you finishing off the bottom row with the 7 seed beads and completing the length we needed for this beautiful bracelet. So I've gone ahead and got to the end and the length that I need for this one. I'm coming out now at the end of this row, and I'm going to start going back up and continue by filling in the 7th seed bead between the 6 all at the top. So very easily, just going to take that up through the Arcos, through the Half Tila and out through the top of the Arcos. which now wants to go through the seed bead as well, so we'll just make that easier for ourselves and do that. I'm then going to go across the first two to the left and out with the beading needle, and I'm picking up one single size 15 in the silver. I'm then going to go back through the 3 seed beads next to that. Let's not have you looping under there. And then down through the Arcos, and the Half Tila. And you'll notice I've just gone through the tiller and then I'm coming out with the beading needle. So we're coming out through there. Across under the Half Tila and then back up the other side of the Half Tila bead. Move my fingers out the way. So we're going back up, which can be a bit tricky, and out through the Arcos. And it's also, again, gone straight through the first seed bead, which is no problem at all. So we'll just go through the next 2, and then we're picking up. Next 3, and then Arcos and Half Tila. So continue all the way back along your top row, and then we'll join again to finish on this side, and I'll show you how to tie the threads off as well. Okay, so I've come all the way along, so we've filled in between our gaps, and I'm just on to my last but one, because I'm going to tuck that end with this cotton here, so we're going to, where we started our project. So I'm just going to finish those last few, and I'm going to show you how to tie off your thread as well. Okay, so I've just come out of that last seed bead on that row, and let's just flip this round. I'm going to take my needle under the thread that's running through the bead from the seed to the Arcos. So I'm just sliding my needle through there, and you'll see I've got a loop of Fireline forming there. So I'm going to go back through that Fireline, and I'm going to pull that nice and tight, creating a knot next to the seed bead and between the Arcos. I'm then going to go through the Arcos and out. I'm going to loop under the thread between the Arcos and the Half Tila bead. Pull that so we've got a loop forming. Through and pull that tight. So I've now got 2 knots either side of the Arcos. Back through my Half Tila, and I'm going to do one on this side of the tiller. So I've got 3 knots just to make sure we're really finishing this off and it's nice and secure. Back through the loop, pull it tight, and I'm going to come out through the Arcos and that first seed bead before trimming the rest of the Fireline away. So I've come up and out of the seed bead with my thread, and now I'm going to take that away. Be very careful when you're finishing this bit. You do not want to cut through the thread running through your beads, so as close as you can, but do watch out for that. So take that away. You'll see that's given us a nice finish. We don't have any knots on show. And I'm just going to tuck this end in now. So I'm going to take my starter bead off and replace the needle onto that end as well. Okay, So we've got the needle on, and I'm going to go back on myself, so through those 3. Pick up 1 and back through the 3. Okay, and we're going to do our knots again, so 1 through there, through the loop, pull that tight, back through your Arcos, picking up the thread in between those 2, through my loop, half tiller, last knot on this side, up through your bead and seed bead, and I'm out to the top. Take away the thread, and there you have all the top and bottom row with all of the beautiful seed beads running across the top. And we've now got our 2 ends, and you're probably wondering how we're going to put the fastening on. So that's where our 0.8 wire comes in, and we're going to attach the toggle clasp with a tiny little Minos in between, which I think gives that a really nice finish effect to the bracelet as well. So I'll go ahead and show you how to pop that end on. So we're going to take our tools, and I'm going to start with a pair of round nose pliers, and I'm just going to create, so about halfway down the pliers, I'm just going to create a little bend there in the wire and take that through the top of the half tiller so that sits in the middle like so, and then I'm going to wrap. So I'm bringing those 2 sides around each other with the wire, and I'm going to wrap the end. So I'm creating a small spiral upwards with the wire, just twisting that round. So I'm going to do about 3 twists here. So we've got the 3 twists in the wire, and using the side cutters take that excess away. So I'm using the smooth edge of the side cutters to get as close as I can and take that wire off. Pick up one of the Minos beads, like so, and then attach the clasp. So I've got my bead on, that's connected there, and now I want to connect this to the clasp. So I'm going to place my pliers above the Minos bead and then push the plier away at a 90-degree angle. I'm then going to reposition my pliers above that 90-degree angle and then bring that all the way over the top of the pliers. So we've created a nice hook in the wire. Thread the toggle part of my clasp on here, and then I'm going to wrap the wire again. So I'm just placing my pliers across there to hold it as I wrap the wire round in the spiral. So this time I'm spiraling downwards, and I should be able to get my 3 wraps in again, and then take away that excess wire using the side cutters. I have a tiny lip here, which is a bit awkward to get to, so if that happens, take your flat nose pliers and you just want to gently tease that in. That way there's nothing scratchy when someone will be wearing the bracelet. So that will give you the fastening. Repeat the same on the opposite side, but just with the O part of your toggle clasp, and then these two will join beautifully together to give you a fab fastener. Thank you for watching our tutorial today. Give us a big thumbs up and subscribe now to our YouTube channel where you can see all of our latest designs and ideas. All the beads used you can buy at beadsjar.co.uk. Until the next time, bye bye!